kids, today we're going to talk about what's in the box. I guess out of the chute starting with that doesn't fit in the box, but I shoot an Oneida Kestrel Claude Pollington model, so does the Jer Bear and Gray Bear. What are you using?
A Bear Wild.
He's got a Bear Wild. We're all compound bow guys, shooting aluminum shafts, fletch our own arrows. But everything that I have is in a tote, and it's separated depending on what I'm doing and where I'm going. So I am first going to start out with what I would call my underclothes tote. No, I'm not going to strip down to my undergear, but in this box is everything that I would wear underneath my camouflage clothing. It is, for the most part, I try to keep everything scent free. That's the other part of the totes. That's what helps things out. Some of the things are bare necessities, t-shirts, socks, underwear, all that stuff is kind of a bare necessity. But I'll tell you a couple of things that I have come across that have been really, really helpful. I got from one of the outlet stores, I got an Eddie Bauer sweater shirt. Man, this thing is the bomb. Very warm, keeps you nice and toasty. So that's one thing. That's part of the underclothes. The other thing that I have in here that's going to be of significance is Under Armour. Under Armour cold gear. I've got two sets, one of their original sets, and then I have one of their newer versions of one of their newer sets. Both long johns and shirts. Big fan of the Under Armour stuff. It works really good. The good thing about this stuff is it breathes. So if you do sweat in it, it will dry and it will breathe. Problem I had with long johns is long johns were not doing that. Long johns, they'd get wet and they were soaked and then you got cold. The Under Armour stuff is pretty helpful when it goes along with that. Another thing that I'm kind of a big fan of is wicking type clothing. I call them shiny shirts. This one's in orange, but it's basically like a polyester blend material that does the same thing. It breathes and it does dry out relatively quickly. So that's basically it for undergear. Nothing special for socks, just whatever you think is going to keep you warm. But that pretty much explains what's in the first box. Got a couple of other shirts, different levels of warmth. Some of them are thin material, some of them are thick material. Because when you're hunting the Michigan woods, you never know what you're going to run into. So that's kind of the underclothes tote. The next one is the big important tote, and I'm going to throw that right up on top. This is the camouflage tote. They call them chamongs, but the wrap around your neck, large handkerchiefs basically. They do a lot to keep the wind from going down your neck. And it's part of my shtick, like Gray Bears. Camouflage pants. There is, if you search through our videos, there is a whole part 1 and part 2 segment on camouflage. But anyways, pair of pants. This is, again, I told you the different types of shirts. This is a little bit mid-model shirt. The pant that I normally wear in the woods is a dark colored camouflage pant, because I don't even know who makes this one. This is made by Guide Series. So this is a really good camouflage. A little bit thin on the pant side. Not a big fan of it, but I do like the camouflage pattern. My go-to under vest, so if we're layering, I'll start with a t-shirt and then a shiny shirt, and then depending on weather, I'll throw this vest on, made by HS Strut. This is just a quilted fleece vest. Of course, our handy dandy harnesses so that we don't die falling out of the trees. Camouflage masks. These are made by SA. And I'm telling you, man, you could get anything. This one's got like the half skull. I've got one that's done in carbon fiber. That's where I go to get my camouflage face masks. They're just like a turtleneck, They're a stretchy tube, and you can pull them up over your face. You can see them in our videos. You can see them in our videos. Check them out. My hat, my camouflaged hat is made by Columbia. This was probably the first wool outfit that I got, and I got it at Gander Mountain back in the day. I had my own leafy green I sewed to it. I got my easy grunt call on here, and you see this in the videos too, made by Columbia wool. Another shamong. My early fall camouflage jacket that I wear is made by Habit. Pretty decent camouflage, and it keeps me pretty warm in the early fall. Doesn't really do a whole heck of a lot of good for me in the winter time, but that's my early fall. My camouflage gloves, I picked these up at Home Depot. They're just a camouflaged firm grip glove, and I cut the thumbs off of them so that I can text message my buddy Gray Bear while I'm in my tree stand. Just a camouflage string stalker watch cap. Why do I have one of those? Because I like it says string stalker. This is my high ticket item. This is my wool jacket that I have from King of the Mountain. Some of the best wool that I've been able to find. When I retired, I bought a set of the jacket and the bibs, and this is King of the Mountain wool. Another set of camouflage, let's see, another undershirt that's fleece to keep me warm. Another set of camouflage that I like is the old school Digicam. So I've got a set of BDUs that I got at an Army surplus store, bottom and top, few things. So that's what's in the tote that says camouflage. And cold gear, my other tote, and this, boom, that fell over. Okay. This tote really just has stuff that I would wear in the winter time. So I have thicker gloves, thicker hat, a wool down vest, and then all of my sweatshirts are in here, all of my hats are in here. But the big thing that I change into the winter time is I switch from my fleece quilted vest to a down-filled vest underneath my clothing to help keep me warmer. So cold gear wise, that basically, you know, gives you an idea of what's in there for cold gear. Second half of my cold gear tote is the other half of my ever so famous King of the Mountain. That's my King of the Mountain bibs. Love them, keep me warm. Also in here is by King of the Mountain 2 is a hand warmer, so when it's frigid and cold. I've got another camouflaged vest, down-filled vest, and fleece lined pants. You don't necessarily have to get these in camouflage because you can wear them underneath the bibs, but fleece lined jeans, awesome. What's the other company that Carhartt. Carhartt makes a lot of good stuff. You look at these construction guys out there slowing you down in the freeway, and these guys are wearing Carhartts, and they're wearing it because it works. Your carpenters that are working in the wintertime wearing Carhartts. So also something to look into. Basically a 600 grain waterproof cowboy boot. And I know it starts with an A. I'm pretty sure that the name starts with an A. But I like them for when I'm just going to throw them on and go for a walk in the woods. These are my go-to pair of boots. A lot of miles on these. My fall hunting boots are Rocky Cornstalkers. This is the second edition of Rocky Cornstalkers that I've had in my hunting career. The first ones wore out. Now I got these. The only problem that I had with these is these started to allow water into my foot, and they were supposed to be waterproof, but they started letting in water after a couple of years. I love them when it's not wet. When it is wet, I had to go to Cabela's and get the Cabela's brand waterproof, and I want to think these are 1,000 grain Thinsulate boots. These are a Cabela's model. They're herders, but that's a Cabela's version of a boot. Everybody should have a set of swampers. Oh, good set of swampers for getting back in the wet stuff, or if you want to get into your tree stand scent free. These are a good brand. I'm a fan of Lacrosse's. Lacrosse makes probably one of the best swamper type boots that I've worn. My first set of Columbia wool. My Columbia wool, I still keep the jackets and the pants. And let me tell you what, with a little bit of clothing underneath them, wear this over the top of something, it's great camouflage, and it definitely does the job. And it's not as expensive as the King of the Mountain. Anyway, so hopefully you enjoyed my version of what's in the box. Now, a couple other things, what's in the box that I just wanted to touch on. Didn't really think about it, but there are things that I carry in my pockets and things that I carry on me. One is the Rhino 650T GPS radio integrated. It keeps me in touch with gray bear and with Jer bear when we're out in the woods. The range isn't the greatest because it's a little bit older version. So it's basically your family radio frequency that it's on. So that integrated with the GPS, we mark all our hunting spots, mark all our tracks. Garmin I've had the best luck with as far as GPSs. There are other ones that are out there. Mine has a clips right to the shoulder strap on my backpack, so I've got the radio and my GPS right there. I always carry a decent sized folding knife when I'm out in the woods, and that would be considered a decent sized folding knife to me. Made by Cold Steel, called the Voyager. Keep that in my pocket to fight the bears with. I also have a Streamlight pen light. Won't go anywhere without this. This one's been with me for several years. I've lost it and obsessed with finding it. I found it a year later and it still worked in the woods on the trail. Had to use a thingamabobber, a metal detector. Always keep that in my pocket as well. Other thing that I keep in my pocket is a lighter, because you never know when you got to set your hunting buddy on fire or set the truck on fire to draw attention to yourself because you're lost. But why would, if you're at the truck, well, never mind, we won't get into that. Other thing that you may want to keep on you is a compass. You want to duplicate everything. So in my pockets, I carry a flashlight, a lighter, a compass, and my knife. In my backpack, it's duplicated again. There's another compass, there's another lighter, there's another flashlight, there's another knife. I carry several knives, but generally the main one that I go out in the woods with is the Cold Steel Voyager. Again, you hear the name Cold Steel. It's a Cold Steel Tonto knife. That's my straight blade that more often than not, I'll wrap that around, carry it into the woods like this. I got my Voyager in my pocket light and in my pocket. I've got my lighter, my flashlight in the other pocket. Anyway, so this is a couple other things that go with me in the woods. You hear that I'm a big fan of Cold Steel. So you have stuff in your pocket, you have stuff in your backpack, you have stuff duplicated in your truck. So everything that's out there. I hope that covers a couple extra things on what's in the box.